Examination-based context session for Mother Tongue and Literacy Development, English 1, for the year 2021. I'm your tutor, Rita Davids. Dear students, all examination papers are combined as requested by IOL for the two courses DPPE and DJPE. Seeing that the two study guides differ so much, there are not a lot of similar work in the two study guides for me to ask year after year, and therefore it may seem as if there are a lot of duplication. Technical aspects on the answering of your examination. Your examination paper consists of the following. The cover page. The cover page is divided into a left and a right column. The left column will be filled in by the tutor when marking. Please leave this open. You must only fill in the column on the right. The following headings can be found on the right-hand column of the cover page and must be filled in by you. Under the heading Student Details, fill in the following information: CIF or student number, surname, first name and initials, ID number, examination center, and the student signature. Please make sure to read the general instructions given at the bottom of the cover page. Instruction page. Make sure you read and understand the examination instructions. Examination script. Format. The duration of each examination will be 2 hours and the scripts consist out of 100 marks each. It is important that you answer all questions and only one of the choice questions. Your study material. The following study guides can be found on your respective Kindles. Study Guide for Pre-Primary Diploma in Education, Mother Tongue Literacy and Development 1. Study Guide for Diploma in Junior Primary Education, Mother Tongue Literacy and Development 1. General information. Please make use of old question papers and feedbacks of previous assignments and examinations. There you will find questions and answers that could be of good use. All questions should be answered. Where a choice question is applicable, make sure you answer only one of the two. Otherwise, only the first answer will be marked. Read your questions with care. Make sure you know what is expected with every verb in each question. As each exam paper has a question on English grammar as well as the language structure, make sure you know this. Very important, the paper is set up so that you write on the paper itself. The quantity of lines given will help you to determine the length of your answer. Some students write way too much and unnecessary information, while others write too little information. Look at the marks allocated to each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Write neatly and legibly. If I cannot read what you wrote, I cannot allocate marks to you. The memorandums provide answers from all the study guides. All information will therefore be credited. Where applicable, students' own relevant ideas will also be credited. Understanding how to answer a question. Every exam paper is set in 3 levels of difficulty: level 1, 2, and 3. These levels are usually indicated by the specific verb that leads the question. In the front part of your study guide, you will find a list of verbs and what is expected of you when a specific verb is used. You will have to study this list, or you will lose marks when not knowing what to do. The levels in your exam paper are divided as follows: Level 1, 70%, Level 2, 20%, and Level 3, 10%. How to use the verbs. The verbs that are used most commonly are: Level 1, list, state, name. Here you only name the content. Define, describe, outline, explain, summarize, and identify. Here you just give the description or explanation that you studied in your study guide. Tabulate is when you arrange information systematically in a table or in columns and rows. Level 2. Discuss, analyze, comment, examine, design, create, investigate, and demonstrate. With these verbs, you must still use the facts from your study guide, but you cannot only give the facts as it is. Some other actions are needed as well. Discuss is when you give a clear description of the facts and then argue about the features. Examine is where you identify detailed features of something, give the facts, and discuss them accordingly to given direction, drawing a conclusion. Use the list in your study guide to find out what you will have to do with every other verb above. Level 3, evaluate. Determine the value or the worth or the quality or the success of something according to a certain criteria. Discuss critically. Students have to provide positive and negative points and draw a conclusion. Compare is indicate similarities or resemblances and differences of phenomena regarding particular criteria. Draw a conclusion about the similarities and differences, emphasizing the similarities. Very often, a table form is used to compare phenomena. Important. Lots of students only list the facts without indicating the similarities or differences. Distinguish, differentiate, or contrast is when you describe two phenomena or things according to relevant criteria. Clearly point out the differences between the two sets. Also important is that lots of students only list the facts without indicating what the differences are. To explain the differences, the words while and but can be used to separate the facts. It is very important that you know what to do with all the verbs, as not knowing will cause you losing valuable marks. Exam script of 2021. Please note, only one presentation will be recorded for the examination scripts of April, August, and November every year. There will not be a presentation for every examination. For the April, August, and November examinations, concentrate on the following. References are not done in any particular order. The following are what you might get in any of the 3 exam scripts. Read the questions carefully to see where it is applicable for the DPPE students and where for the DJPE students. Use the references given to find the answers in your study guide. For example, U1 number 1.2.2 means Unit 1 heading number 1.2.2. National Language Policy. In the DPPE study guide, Unit 1, number 4.5. The DJPs is number 1.5. You must be able to give short answers to questions on the National Language Policy with regard to mother tongue as used in Namibia, only up to grade 4. Or you will also have to give clear explanations about the National Language Policy with regard to mother tongue up to grade 4. Study this for each exam. Cultural Diversity and Identity, DPP, Unit 1, 4.3, DJP, number 1.3. Study how cultural diversity and identity are reflected in language. Early Literacy Development, DPP, Unit 2, number 4.3, DJP, number 2.4. You must be able to discuss the alphabetic principle and its importance in early literacy development. Study this for each exam. Oral Language and Literacy Learning, DPP, Unit 2, number 4.4, DJP, number 2.5. Study the relationship between oral language and literacy learning. Make sure you know the facts as indicated in your respective study guides. Storytelling and Story Reading, DPP, Unit 2, number 4.5, DJP, number 2.6. Study the importance of storytelling and story reading for early literacy development. Informal and formative assessment. DPP Unit 2, number 4.6.2, paragraph 1 and 2 and 3. DJP number 3.3. Study what is meant by informal and formative assessment and make sure you know why only informal and formative assessment is suitable to assist young children. Learning materials. DPP Unit 2, number 4.6, DJP 3.7 and 3.8 under learning materials. Study the different types of teaching and learning materials that you can establish in your classroom to promote preparatory and incidental reading in your class. Also study in which way it will assist the learner in developing the language concepts. Phonetics and Phonology. DPP Unit 3, number 4.1. DJP number 3.5.1. Study the terms phonetics and phonology. You will have to know the facts about each term so that you can be able to compare the two. Word wall. DPP Unit 1, Learning Activity 6. DJP number 3.8.2. Study the success of the development and extension of children's vocabulary in your pre-primary classroom by using the well-known word wall. You will also have to give some relevant and suitable examples. Verbal sounds or oracy. DPP Unit 3, DJP 3.5.2. Children learn words through oracy and literacy. There are differences and similarities between verbal sounds. Speech sounds develop as the child grows up. Study this in your respective study guides. Choice questions. Second language. DPP students. In the DPP book, Unit 1, number 4.2.3.1. Study the 4 stages and founding of sequential second language learning as referenced by Hal Gunseth. Also study what research has shown. The DJPE students, in your book, number 1.4. Study Stephen Krashen's theory of second language acquisition, where he discussed multilingual education, or MLE, and a 4-stage program. Also study what research has shown. Famous educators. For the DPPE students, Unit 1, number 4.4.1. Study the 5 stages of second language acquisition as conducted by Judy Haynes. DJPE students, in your book, number 1.4. Study the 5 stages of David Crystal's theory on child language acquisition. In every exam paper, there will be a grammar question on the following. Parts of speech. Students really struggle to answer this, and therefore it will be explained in depth. The following parts of speech can be tested: verb, noun, pronoun, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction. Please note that the example sentence for each exam will be different. The question might look like this. Use the given sentence. Provide each different part of speech with its specific function and all examples from the sentences. Very important, only write the word or words that you are certain of. You cannot write the whole sentence and make me choose which word is the correct one. Clearly show the correct example or examples at each part of speech. For example, he ran fast to the blue gate and closed it slowly. The verb in this sentence is doing the action. It's a doing word, action or state of being. And the words are ran and closed. The noun is a thing or person. It's a naming word. And the example in the sentence is gate. Adverb describes the verb or modifies the verb. And the 2 words are slowly and fast. The pronoun replaces a noun, and the 2 examples are he and it. Preposition links a noun to another word. And here the example is to. An adjective describes the noun, also called a describing word, and here we have the word blue. Conjunction links or joins two sentences, clauses, or words together, like the word and. The given sentence does not have an article, but some sentences may contain an article. An article specifies the noun or precedes the noun. Articles are the, a, or an. Parts of the language. Please note that the example sentences for each exam will be different. Provide each of the following parts of the language with a short explanation as well as an example from the given sentence. For example, he ran through the blue gate at 9 o'clock. The main sentence is a sentence with a subject, verb, also called a predicate, and an object. And the example is, he ran through the blue gate. The phrase is a word of groups that do not both have a subject and a verb, or you can say a group of words without a finite verb. And the example here is at 9 o'clock. A subject is the person doing the deed. It reflects who or what we are talking about, and in this sentence it is he. The object is what is being done to, or we can say answers who or what after the verb, and the example is the blue gate. Your tenses. You must be able to change a given sentence into any of the following tenses: present tense, past tense, future tense, present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and future continuous tense. Please note that the example sentences for each exam will be different. Example, I catch the ball that my sister throws. This sentence is in the present tense. In the past tense, it will change, I caught the ball that my sister threw. For the future tense, it will be, I shall catch the ball that my sister will throw. In the present continuous tense, I am catching the ball that my sister is throwing. And past continuous tense, I was catching the ball that my sister was throwing. For the future continuous tense, it will be, I shall be catching the ball that my sister will be throwing. A quick summary of English tenses. Present tense is something that is unchanging, general, scheduled, or happening at certain intervals. It uses the verb plus s. Present continuous tense is something that is happening now or in the near future, and it uses is plus the verb and ing. Past tense, something that happened before now. It uses the verb plus ed. Past continuous tense, something that got interrupted by an event or a time, and it uses the word was plus verb and ing. Future tense, sometimes that will happen later than now, and it uses the word will plus the verb, and it says is going to plus the verb. The future continuous tense, something that will be interrupted by an event or a time, and it uses will be plus the verb and ing. Is going to be plus the verb and ing. Exam preparation and writing tips. Exam timetable. Make sure you know what rooms your exams will be in and what time they start. Consult the Iol office for those details and not the subject tutor. Emergency. If you happen to fall ill during the exam session, immediately notify the invigilator for correct action to be taken. During the examinations, write your details as requested. Read the exam paper a couple of times to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Make sure you answer all questions. If there is a choice question, make sure you answer the correct one. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Calculate how much time you will give to each question and stick to it. If time permits, check your answers, spelling, punctuation, and the use of grammar. Suggestions how to study. You cannot pass the subject if you do not know the content of this study guide. You cannot start studying only one day before the examination. After receiving your study guide, immediately summarize the content. Read through your summary at least once a week. About 2 months before the examination, start studying. Do not try to study the whole content in one day, but divide it into portions that you can handle. Restudy the content on a regular basis to ensure that you remember it. The key to answering a very good exam paper is study your IOL study guide very well, because all answers will be from this. Study the work that was summarized in this exam-based contact session. You can also find this on your portal. Study the corrected questions in your returned assignment, as 30% can be in the examination. Read the questions in the paper until you understand what is asked. Lots of students do not understand what is asked in the questions. Answer in your own words means construct the correct facts from your study guide in your own words, and not to make up your own facts and stories to write down. While doing this, make sure you do not lose some important facts of the specific question. To avoid this, list and number the facts underneath each other wherever possible. Remember, my marking cannot help you pass your exam. I mark according to a memorandum, and my work is being moderated. I cannot give you marks when the correct facts are not written down. Only you can help yourself pass the examination by studying very hard. If you failed the previous exam, make sure that you obtain a feedback on marking from our officers to find out what you did wrong. General. Obtaining high marks in your assignment does not guarantee high marks in the examinations. You now have to make sure that you know the content of the assignment and other information from the study guide very well to do well in the coming examination. Make sure that you have all the information you get from the contact sessions and the feedback of the assignments and previous examinations. You will find very important and useful information through these. Please note, tutors do not work in the Iol office. We are part-time workers who work from our homes and cannot help you with any administrative problems. I tutor different subjects in different courses, and therefore, when emailing me, please name your course code, subject code, and semester code. For instance, DJP or DPP Mt1Eng. I can only help you with problems concerning your subject content. I'm always available for help, but if you have a question you would like to ask me, it is best to mail it to me at my email address, and I can give you a well-constructed answer. I can also send information via WhatsApp on your cell phone. I wish you the best of luck for your examination. Your tutor, Rita Davids.